In 20th place on the official list of the 20 strongest in Dragon Ball Super currently, we have a character that to most casual fans might not seem that strong, but he awakened Ultra Instinct before Goku. This happens in chapter 39 of the manga, in a part that was cut from the anime. In this chapter, Goku finally begins his fight against Jiren, but is easily overpowered. To compensate, he tries to force his power beyond his limit, which brings serious consequences to his body. That is when Master Roshi steps in and says the issue is not about having more power, and he demonstrates this by dodging Jiren, the most powerful individual in the entire Tournament of Power. He ends up being eliminated shortly after, but his feat helps Goku begin to use Ultra Instinct. The most curious thing is that according to the translation by Herms98, the acclaimed Dragon Ball translator, Whis compare Master Roshi's movements to true Ultra Instinct, although they acknowledge there is a great difference between that and the final version. Even so, the basic principle is the same. This means Master Roshi was the first mortal in the series to come close to Ultra Instinct, even before Goku and Vegeta. It might seem a bit forced, but it makes sense since this is a technique based on a concept that exists in real-world martial arts. It is not that absurd that a master who has lived for hundreds of years managed to approach this principle, even if he is very far from mastering it. In 19th place, Goten. Goten is a disappointment for all Dragon Ball fans who saw that strong, energetic boy who achieved Super Saiyan just by training with his mother and terrified Gohan with his rock throws. It was clear back then that nobody would mess with Goten. The author himself in an interview already confirmed that he is the Saiyan with the most potential. What nobody imagined is that he would never train again after the Majin Buu saga, following in his brother Gohan's footsteps. Of course, this is partially Chi-Chi's fault, who never allowed her sons to train freely, but the human genetics also play a role, since when mixed with Saiyan genetics, it softens the constant desire to keep fighting. The advantage is that this combination gives rise to a race with more S cells, which according to the author are cells that help gain power and transform. Having Goten at 19th really is sad, but the most recent Dragon Ball Super manga saga brought him back with more power than ever, and I hope he follows in Gohan's footsteps and gets some transformation or technique that finally awakens our eternal promise. In 18th place, Trunks. Since his first appearance until today, Trunks has always been stronger than Goten. The first time they faced each other, Trunks wins by transforming into Super Saiyan, which leaves Goten upset for not keeping the agreement of not transforming during the fight. Not that Goten had not cheated plenty in previous moments on that occasion. That day Trunks demonstrated a slight advantage in power, which is no different from today. The official card games from the Dragon Ball Superhero movie show Goten with a slight power difference compared to Trunks. They are so weak after being rusty for so long that, believe it or not, in base form they are weaker than Krillin in those official cards. On top of that, Trunks himself already commented on why he is stronger than Goten. This happened in the scene where he fights Vegeta in the gravity room during Dragon Ball Z. There, Vegeta asks if Goten can also transform into Super Saiyan. Trunks responds yes, but unlike him, Goten did not know how to fly. Vegeta also asks which of the two is stronger, and Trunks responds that he is a little stronger since he is 1 year older, which leaves Vegeta unsatisfied because he would have liked to see greater dominance from his son over Kakarot's son. In 17th place, Android 18. After marrying Krillin and becoming a mother, Android 18 does not usually fight anymore, but that does not stop her from being simply the strongest woman in Universe 7, at least until the belly starts growing. Unlike Goten and Trunks, who stopped fighting and became useless, because she is a human with robotic parts, Android 18 does not lose power over time, and her ki does not weaken. This happens because the androids were programmed by Dr. Gero to have infinite energy, plus strength extremely superior to a standard human. Since she did not gain power through training, but through an experiment, her power reduction over time is low or non-existent. As such, she can be as strong as she was at her peak, or even stronger, since she contributed greatly to Universe 7 at the Tournament of Power. In 16th place, Majin Buu. The greatest threat of the Z Saga has lived to be only the 16th strongest in the universe. It seems we still have not left the retired section of the list, and Majin Buu could lead the list of laziest to train. Currently living with Mr. Satan, Buu, or Mr. Buu as the hero of Earth calls him, spends his days eating pudding and goofing around. Before the Tournament of Power, we could see Buu training and getting in shape. He fights against Goku, and even holds his own against the true hero of Earth. Few people followed this at the time, but Toei Animation, the studio behind Dragon Ball, published everywhere that Majin Buu would be part of the Universe 7 team at the Tournament of Power, but they decided to replace him at the last minute with Frieza. My theory is that this happened mainly because of two of Buu's abilities that would have disrupted the story development of the tournament. The first is healing, which helps the team absurdly. Every team needs strong support, and just from this ability alone, he would already be incredibly useful. To complete the overpowered combo, we simply have absorption, which would allow Buu to absorb all defeated fighters before they fell off the arena. In 15th place, Android 17. The owner of the biggest plot twist in the franchise's history gives us a real notion of what it means to be stylish. Currently, Android 17 lives on an island away from the continent that houses a large number of endangered species. His job is to be the guard guard, or rather the ranger of the island. On the island, 17 had the opportunity to train with Cell Juniors. This caused his power to increase to the level of fighting Goku Blue in the anime and Goku Super Saiyan 3 in the manga. The manga always saves things in terms of coherence. Still, rivaling Goku's Super Saiyan 3 is absurd, considering he was a villain designed to beat only the regular Super Saiyan, showing that the android probably evolves at a much faster rate than a normal person if he trains. Besides being tough to take down, Android 17 possesses a high combat IQ, which enabled him to win the Tournament of Power, breaking every betting house with that turnaround. In 14th place, Piccolo. The author Toriyama's favorite character needed a new transformation. Without caring about anything, the author added 2 new ones at once for a character who not only greatly deserved it, but also needed this restoration with interest to prove himself among the monsters that follow. Piccolo was once Goku's greatest rival in the classic series. Besides being the strongest among the Z-Warriors both in the Saiyan saga when he fused with Nail, and in the Cell saga when he absorbed Kami and became a Super Namekian. After years of being forgotten, Piccolo gained a transformation called Potential Unleashed, which was affectionately renamed Yellow Piccolo by fans. His other new transformation is Orange Piccolo. This transformation makes the character muscular and much stronger, being capable of holding off the terrifying Cell Max, the main villain of the most recent movie. In 13th place, Gohan. Coming straight from retirement to glory, Gohan proved himself as the owner of the most epic scenes in the franchise by transforming into his new form called Beast. The scene from the Dragon Ball Superhero movie is a reimagining of the scene where Gohan transforms into Super Saiyan 2, and it explores nostalgic aspects to win over the fans amid a chaotic launch scenario and 3D animation controversies. He easily defeats Cell Max, who according to Piccolo not even Goku and Vegeta could beat. To better understand this scene and eliminate wrong interpretations, we need to analyze the context according to the film's own production. The movie is a continuation of the Dragon Ball Super Broly film. Therefore, despite taking place chronologically after the events of the Granola saga in the manga, this film did not consider the events of that saga during production, and nobody on the team knew the power level of Goku, Vegeta, and the others since the film started production well before that saga, despite taking place chronologically after. So when Piccolo says Gohan defeated someone that not even Goku and Vegeta could beat, he is referring to the Goku and Vegeta who fought Broly, not their current manga versions. Another important thing to note about Gohan's current level is the interpretation of a reasonably recent statement from the author. He mentions in his interview about the film that Gohan has always been the strongest of all. However, from the context of the interview, we can tell he is mostly referring to the character's potential and history. You will better understand Gohan's power level when we compare him with Goku and Vegeta later. In 12th place, Broly. In the last chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga, Broly is invited to train with Vegeta. The Prince of the Saiyans teaches him how to control his rage. Who would have thought Vegeta teaching that? He even manages to do it, but when controlled, Broly cannot access his full power. Whis says that Broly's training is only beginning. In the manga, it is very clear that Broly is not as strong as Goku and Vegeta. Whis, shortly before the Granola the Survivor saga, and after the Broly and Moro sagas, comments that Goku and Vegeta are the strongest Saiyans in the universe. That alone already took Broly out of the race for the spot of the 2 Earth Saiyans. My frustration comes from them adding extensive potential to the character, making him capable of surpassing Goku and Vegeta in a fight with no training at all, but then completely limiting his evolution speed after the movie. Broly is like that boss in fighting games who is incredibly overpowered until you unlock him as a playable character. The reason Broly is ahead of Gohan is an interview from Akira Toriyama about Cell Max that accidentally gave us a clue about who is stronger between Broly and Gohan. He said, quote, "If Cell Max had been completed according to plan, he would have been a superhuman that not even Broly could defeat. But since he was forcefully activated, he became an uncontrollable monster," end quote. Based on this statement, we can conclude that Broly could beat Cell Max in his incomplete form, just as Gohan did, and possibly go even further since we are talking about a Broly who is stronger and more trained than at the time of that statement. Meanwhile, Gohan stays at the same level since the manga only adapted the film later. In 11th place, Vegeta. Time passes and we keep waiting for Vegeta to defeat an important villain in Dragon Ball Super. This came very close to happening in the important Granola the Survivor saga in the DBS manga, where Vegeta obtained Ultra Ego, a transformation that uses the power of the gods of destruction to push the user beyond their limit, being able to evolve more and more as they absorb damage from the opponent. The Hakai was also an important weapon recently added to Vegeta's arsenal, learned through training under Beerus' supervision. Just like Goku, Vegeta is also mentioned in Whis' statement after the Moro saga as one of the strongest Saiyans in the universe alongside Goku. An interesting detail to mention is that this statement from Whis appeared before Vegeta obtained Ultra Ego, which only shows how underestimated the Super Saiyan Blue evolution form is, especially the manga version, which achieved results superior to Goku's bugged Ultra Instinct in the fight against Granola. This statement from Whis helps us know that Vegeta also currently surpasses Broly, but loses to the next characters on the list. In 10th 7th place, Granola. 40 years ago, Frieza ordered a group under his command to attack a planet called Cereal. The sole survivor of this planet grew up with hatred and resentment, dreaming of one day getting revenge on Frieza, until he received the opportunity to make a wish with the Dragon Balls created by the Namekian Monaito who lived on his planet. The Shinigami dragon called Taranbo took almost all of Granola's remaining lifespan to make him the strongest in the universe, excluding the gods. With this power, Granola defeated Goku and Vegeta. However, Goku achieved a power that surpasses Granola by facing gas and awakening an ancient transformation now presented in an unprecedented way. You will understand more details about this now. In 9th place, Goku. After the Tournament of Power, the extremely slow pace of evolution that Goku has been stuck in throughout the manga has been a pain. Ultra Instinct has still not been mastered and seems like a task that will take a while. After the Moro saga where Goku showed greater mastery of the technique, what Goku basically did in the manga was take beatings until something epic emerged, the Ultra Instinct True Transformation. This manga form simply dethroned the silver-haired form that everyone knows. It consists of a variation of Omen, the incomplete phase of Ultra Instinct, but if it were just that, the power should decrease instead of increase. However, what differentiates the true form from normal Omen is that in it Goku is allowed to feel his emotions freely without needing to keep his spirit calm. In this way, a furious warrior emerges, thirsty to defeat any opponent, with all the rage of the Saiyan race concentrated in himself, but at the same time with all the technique and decision-making of Ultra Instinct. This stage was able to gain the advantage against Gas, a manga character who defeated Granola, who in turn had defeated Vegeta. These results certainly help us understand in practical terms the exact order of the strongest. In 8th place, Frieza. After seeing Goku using Ultra Instinct at the tournament, Frieza was motivated to get stronger, with the goal of surpassing the god of destruction Beerus, and if the opportunity arises, surpassing the king of all 12 universes, Zeno. After taking a beating from Broly in the movie starring the Saiyan, Frieza showed during the Granola saga the interest in staying out of Goku and Vegeta's lives for a while. This even worked temporarily, but Frieza could not pass up a golden opportunity that appeared in his hands, a lost hyperbolic time chamber on one of the planets he conquered. In this time chamber, Frieza trained for 10 years and awakened a new transformation, Black Frieza. As soon as it was demonstrated for the first time, the transformation was capable of knocking out both Goku and Vegeta with a single blow. Besides flipping the two Saiyans with ease, Frieza calmly spared their lives, making it clear they would meet again. In 7th place, Beerus. The discussion about Goku, Vegeta, Broly, or anyone else having surpassed Beerus came to an end in the last chapter of Dragon Ball Super, when Beerus declares, quote, "No matter how much time passes, there will always be someone superior to you. If you manage to surpass me, I will nominate you as the next Hakaishin," end quote. In this dialogue, Beerus is speaking to Goku. Besides it being clear that Beerus is still the strongest, we can notice the big difference in how Beerus is handling Goku and Vegeta, becoming stronger and stronger. In the Broly movie, he showed clear dissatisfaction with Goku's thirst for power, and even questioned the Saiyan if he was eyeing the Hakaishin position. Sometime later, Beerus seems much more relaxed about this idea, even though he shows more affinity with Vegeta, and even teaches him the principles behind the Hakai and the mindset of destruction. I feel the rematch between Goku and Beerus will be one of the most defining events in the future of the series. In 6th place, Merus. Besides the 12 normal angels we know, and the 6 inactive ones from the universes erased by Zeno, a new class of angels was introduced right after the Tournament of Power. These are the Apprentice Angels, beings who share the same divine blood as Whis, Vados, Margarita, and the others, but who have not been trained enough to be masters of a god of destruction. At some point in the past, Merus was trained by the Grand Priest and sent to the Galactic Patrol to broaden his perspective and learn about the lives of mortals. During this time, he quickly rose through the patrol's ranks and became the #1 patroller. He knocked out Goku without any problem right at his first appearance, besides being the first angel who was not afraid of the consequences of fighting seriously. All angels who fight seriously are erased. With the goal of saving the universe he loved so much, he gave his life in battle to stop Moro and help Goku. He returned to life as a mortal sometime later, since the Grand Priest realized everyone wanted Merus back, even the Supreme Kai of the East who offered his life in exchange for Merus's. The Grand Priest preferred to remove Merus's angel status and revive him as a mortal. In 5th place, Whis. Who was not surprised by that scene? I am the master of Lord Beerus. Despite his relaxed and polite manner, Whis hides a power that not even Beerus would dare to challenge. The difference between an angel and a god of destruction, according to Akira Toriyama, is even greater than the difference between Goku and Beerus. This is due to the fact that angels are born knowing how to use Ultra Instinct, can manipulate time, and possess speed, resistance, and ki that are practically immeasurable. Despite Goku throughout the entire franchise reaching enemies that seemed invincible, it is even hard to imagine Whis being surpassed. Whis himself explains that his level in Ultra Instinct is better than Merus's but inferior to his father's. In 4th place, the Grand Priest. Looking at the Grand Priest for the first time, it is hard to realize that this individual with a frail and childlike appearance is the right hand of the Supreme God behind the 12 universes. We know everyone fears Zeno, and that even the gods of destruction do not want to upset him, but the Grand Priest is capable of making everyone tremble even more than King Zeno. Not only his imposing presence, but his position as the one responsible for sentencing the losing universe to be destroyed by his master makes him feared even by the angels. Plus, he has the habit of changing various rules to please Zeno, making everything more fun for him. Just like much of the Dragon Ball Supercast and the gods of destruction, Whis is terrified of the Grand Priest. At various moments, you can see how this imposing god turns into a scared kitten when confronted by the angel. Merus and Kitala were the finalists in the gods exhibition match in the manga. Both were giving everything, ready to land the final blow and find out which of them would be the champion. They are interrupted by the Grand Priest, who with just one finger from each hand is able to stop the full power punch of both gods. His power level is so much greater than the other main characters that he ends up being recognized and feared for it, even though he has never actually fought. Despite the strength of Whis, the Grand Priest, and the others, the fact is that an angel was not created to fight. In fact, they are forbidden from it. The guards, on the other hand, are prepared for combat, and their designs evoke the feeling that they were made based on Zeno's own raw power. Terrifying. In second place, Zeno. Without a doubt, one of the biggest twists in the Dragon Ball fanbase happened at Zeno's first appearance. How is this little thing the king of all 12 universes? This thing erased 6 universes at once in the blink of an eye. Exactly. According to Beerus, if he wanted to, Zeno would be capable of destroying everything that exists, anywhere, instantly. His unstable mind and childlike personality leave all the gods insecure about how long their lives will last. Despite his nearly infinite destructive power, some things keep Zeno in second place on this list, because number 1 can not only destroy everything, but also demonstrates the ability to do things that not even the supreme boss of all life forms can. In first place, Zalama. Everyone remembers that the dragon god Super Shenron can grant any wish without limitations. Besides being able to destroy all universes, since there are no restrictions on his powers, he can rebuild them again, as well as bring different universes from scratch. Zeno once mentions that the creator of the Super Dragon Balls is named Zalama. Going back to Dragon Ball Z, when the Z warriors were worried about the arrival of the Saiyans, Earth's Shenron says he cannot eliminate warriors who surpass the power of his creator. This became known in Dragon Ball as the Dragon Rule. If the same rule applies to Super Shenron, we can conclude that the creator of these Dragon Balls would be the strongest in the 12 universes, since the balls he created can eliminate anyone. Remember, the anime is called Dragon Ball, so it makes sense that the vital energy behind all universes is connected to the Dragon Balls. Due to his unlimited powers, Zalama, if he indeed has his dragon, is an omnipotent being. That is why it is impossible for anyone to be above him. Answering some questions. Why is a certain character missing? Probably because the list only considers characters currently alive. Why are Zeno's guards and Zalama on a Universe 7 list? Because they are multiversal characters, so they encompass Universe 7. Why is the list official? Because it was made based on real interviews from the Dragon Ball author himself, plus canonical statements from the anime and manga that show everything in great detail and often explicitly state who is the most powerful. Just read the manga and the interviews mentioned.